I'm mapping out the coordinates of everything on the golf course. My name's Steve Winstone, or SkyCaddie Steve. If you're doing a new golf course or a full map of a golf course, the best way to do it is to walk it as if you're playing it, or think how the architect meant you to play that hole. You're best off laying up rather than taking on those two bunkers. Photographs can be out of shape. They can be taken on the wrong day. Like today, for instance, when all the frost was out there, the differential between the green and the fairway may not have been there. This is a very, very accurate piece of equipment, and we have to have licenses for these. This is collecting data from above, and I'm converting that data on here into positions around the golf course. And between these two things here, we're recording accuracy within centimetres.
So Steve is mapping out this green, and one of the key thing that the Legend Tour players really like is the pin position. So with SkyCaddie and with the help of the tournament office each week, we map the greens so that we know the exact shape, and the tour use our information for the shape of the green and where all of the major slopes are. But each week and each day, the pin positions are set in by the tour. This green, for example, the pin is on 26 and it's 3 from the right. Well, the players are going to have that, and they're going to have that instantly. They can see how far over the pin they've got to run out to the back of the green, how close it is to the edge, and all that information. And the fact that we do this on foot, as you can see Steve walking around the green, that is where the confidence comes, and the players have the ability to trust the yardage that SkyCaddie is giving them. A tour player would never trust a satellite image for their yardage. Their caddy has been out and mapped that golf course, so that's why we walk the course like Steve is doing here.
Now, as I'm walking around this green, this is taking a measurement every second. So what we're getting a series of dots as I go around this green. So that means we're getting a very accurate reading of the shape and the width and the depth of this green. Like I say, I've been taught by the best. Mark Long was the tour caddy for Fred Funk when Fred Funk was, you know, top of the tree. So, you know, he learnt that trade by being his caddy. Mark, in the very beginning, was the guy that actually put everything together on how to use GPS to map out a golf course. And I went to America and spent time with him. We went into everything, you know. We went around golf courses. He showed me how to map a golf course out for a pro. And also, he made it, you know, very plain that we're also mapping a golf course out for the guy who can't hit that far.
So we've got a shadow coming in here. The sun's low in the sky, it's casting a shadow. You can't see this tee. You just wouldn't be able to see it from a satellite image. It's going to be in the dark. So physically being here, being able to walk around it is why we do it. And from a satellite image, you're just not going to get the detail of the shape and the location of this tee, and you're probably going to miss this tee and think the back tee's further on. Same thing happens on greens. If there's a shadow across the green, you're going to miss part of that green if you're only satellite mapping.
Well, SkyCaddie can help you with just about every shot in the bag, quite frankly, especially if you can't see where you're going. If you look down a fairway and there's a group of bunkers to the right or to the left, you know exactly where they are when you look at the SkyCaddie, even if the ground is falling away from you and you can't see it.
One thing that's key on here is that as a tour player and a Legend player, they're going to be able to hit it onto this top layer because they hit it further. But the average player is not going to reach the top of this mound, and they're going to be left down in this dip. And once you're down there, one thing is you have no idea where you're going. The visibility is just not there because you're so low. and there's so much danger. So the higher up here, the further you hit your tee shot, the more you're going to see. But with a SkyCaddie, it doesn't matter if it's blind. You've still got the view of the shape of the hole. One bunker that's a real death trap up there, that if you get in, it's going to be an almost certain bogey. So you've got to know the distance to be short of that bunker, and the SkyCaddie is really going to give you that information from down there.
And equally, if you've got a green with a false front, that could be a slope going down 10 yards into the green. The front of the green is of no use to you at all, because you make the front of the green, you're way back down the fairway. You need to be 10 yards on the green. If I drop this golf ball, you'll see what happens. So it's pretty important that you know what this distance is, because that's where you'll be otherwise. So I will map this area here of the false front. So with your SkyCaddie, if you look at it, you'll see all the information you can possibly want to play to this pin or that pin or a pin over there. But the false front is a killer. You want to stay away from that. I'm pretty proud that the tour pros are trusting my work, the job I do. Yeah, nice.
So Steve's been mapping golf courses for SkyCaddie for over 20 years now, and I hope today you've been able to see why we map the golf courses on foot, and we walk and we take all of the time to map that detail. Satellite images are just not giving us the information we need. We've got to do it on foot.